Hey guys, Twitch JCB here. I would like to discuss with you guys on my experiences with Whisker Squadron Survivor. The game starts off as Olivia's currently in a job interview answering questions from Gigi that soon takes her into an assessment test to analyze the Ares robots in space. Given that her main experience towards this job is getting high scores in Stellar Cat, she must put this to the test and see if she can get the job. We see ourselves into the first act as we take control of piloting a ship to the end. With Olivia being nervous as she's never done anything like this before, Gigi lays down the tutorial for us as we learn maneuverable abilities such as steering and boosting to surge through an area on rail. We got laser and missile weapons on board that we can use to shoot down the robots, which are later named as the Swarm. The shield provides us extra protection against their attacks whenever we roll, and our hull acts as our health that we must protect at all costs or else it will be game over. In relation to all of this, we do have an energy bar that limits our actions as we can't overuse the laser weapons, boosting or shields, and learn to use it accordingly at the right moments. Upon being an on-rail shooter, roguelike elements comes in with leveling up our ship when we defeat the Swarm and collecting the scraps that fall off them. We get to choose from 3 augmentation options that we can either install or upgrade onto our ship for the rest of our playthrough. These options are completely random when we do level up, as it is encouraged from a genre to keep going through multiple playthroughs to experience all the different power-ups we can achieve to make it a fresh new experience each time. I primarily started using these to upgrade my laser cannon and missile launcher while going through the zones to see the difference of how stronger they can become, as at the time it was tricky to take out most of the Swarm, but later at max level it's easy to take them out and to gain more experience. Outside of the zones, there are other nodes in the acts we can use for different purposes. One of them being PE's garage, as he will assist us in repairing or upgrading our ship. If there's a revive kit he offers, definitely go for it, as it is the best one he has. However, it is random each time, as we may be going to maximize one of our power-ups or installing something new onto our ship. Another place we can jump into is Mooney's choices, as she would apply upgrades to our ship but at a certain cost which will affect our next zone areas. I would call these extremely risky at first, since it can easily halt down our progress because of the challenges it presents with foggy areas or meteors falling from the sky, and I prefer to avoid them until later once I've gotten the hang of these zones. Question marks are another option to land onto, as we get dialogue between the characters on the recent progress so far and the current questions or thoughts they may have. This opens up the narrative on learning more about what the job really is, alongside their past history that they would like to share. At the end of these acts, we come against the boss of the Swarm, which stays on our screen until it is defeated. It would have 2 phases to this fight, as the second phase will always add another pan to his attack to get tougher for us to defeat. We have to make sure that we haven't taken too much damage before coming into this, as endurance is key to find our right time to take it out. Upon my first playthrough, I made it all the way to the second act's boss, which got me to return to the hangar. We get to learn that Olivia has passed the test to become a pilot for the team, but she would rather want to go home instead. In response, we learn from Gigi that the Swarm destroyed her home, and she decides to stay and get revenge for what they have done. The narrative carries on for the next playthrough, as we get to see a more frustrated Olivia wanting to get rid of them. As zones goes by, she opens out that things like this always happens to her in the past, and later starts to get more comfortable with the role. I do like how the character development still progresses, even if we have to start from the beginning. This starts to bring in the replay value, as we are still learning new mechanics such as destroying swarms really quickly to form combos to gather more currency that we receive, and double barrel rolls to avoid enemy attacks. Returning to the hangar opens up to improving our current stats and ship that can be used at the start of every single playthrough, plus challenges that can help us to learn all sorts of mechanics that we can encounter. Eventually, I was able to complete the game, as it only consisted of 3 acts that took around an hour to complete from start to finish. During that time, I was able to unlock the other 2 pilots that have returned, which can also be used for the job, as they have their own ships and unique factors to them, as it excites me to know that there's still a lot of content to explore and go through. Overall, Whisker Squadron Survivor really does well as an on-rail roguelike shooter to put ourselves to learn the basics of taking out the swarm and to gradually learn deeper mechanics to help us improve while exploring more of the story and build upon its characters on every run we decide to take. If any of you guys have any experiences with this game, feel free to share in the comments, and I hope you have a wonderful day.